Hi, this is Volunteer Voice from Connect Soul, and right back with you on this beautiful morning. And I've just flown back in from Malaysia, where I spent a beautiful week with my daughter, her husband, and my two beautiful grandchildren. And it's taken me a little bit of time today to get to this. So it's now already evening, but yeah, I didn't get home until about midnight last night. And I just want to make sure that we still do what we need to do, and so that I can post it for you in the morning. So it's Sunday night at the moment. So, well, as always, this will be prosperity and soul wisdom reading and guidance. And I've had just the most amazing week, and I've had the most amazing year. I think many shifts have occurred with the programs I've run. And I'm a great believer you can't teach without learning, and usually we teach what we need to learn. And as a result, I have had just as many shifts as I hope the people that have been working with me have. And of course, now we are planning towards the end of the year, and preparing for the next Bali retreat, which has taken on a life of its own. And I really am so looking forward to all of that. So if you want to know more about what I do and the programs I run, you know, it's down there. All the connections are there. You can contact me on email, or you can PM me. I'm very available for you to speak to me. And so, without very much other ado, let's just see what the messages are going to give us today. I'm so pleased that it's actually warm because, interestingly enough, for the first time ever since I've been to Malaysia, my bather suit not left suitcase. And that is because it rained every day, and it was actually quite cool and very pleasant. So it wasn't as humid and as hot as it usually is. And for those of you who have been on my Facebook, you might have seen that I actually went up on 166th floor on a glass platform and looked down, and I did not have any vertigo. And you do know that I could not even go up a ladder for many years. So I just know that I had such a huge shift in energy. And I'm standing there going, who is this woman? I'm standing looking down 106 floors, straight down, seeing, the whole city down below, and nothing. Not even a little funny thing in my knees, which is usually what, you do. So that was very exciting. Another fear has left my body. Very exciting indeed. So let's have a look what we're going to talk about today. As you know, I use the money and law of attraction cards to get a message and to go into some dialogue with you. And I hope you do enjoy them. And if you do, can you please, tick the like box and send me a message and share it with your friends and whatever else you'd like to do with it. It is for everyone. So the card that just fell out was whatever I desire, I can acquire. It's interesting to me because I have, when I was running the Manifestation Masterclasses, which of course the next one's on the 31st of January, one of the things that we do is to decide what is it that we really would like to have, something tangible that we can look at that's definitely coming into our life as a result of the work that we do in those 10 weeks. And of course, I did have to set my intent as well. And one of the intents that I did set was to restore my gut health, which has been an ongoing issue for several years and quite debilitating at times. And it's all manifested. I'll do a blog post about it because it's quite powerful. Therefore, this is so pertinent for me. Whatever I desire, I can acquire. I know that I can. It depends, of course, on who the I is that is saying that. Now, I don't believe the I that I come from is the persona I. I really do believe that the I that I speak about is the life force that I am. And so, whatever that life force wants to move forward to, as long as I allow that and I support that from a personality perspective, then obviously it's got to happen, because once you're in tune with the life flow, everything happens for you. So let's see what this card says, and I'll just hold it up and show you. And if I sound a little bit croaky, I think it's because of the aircraft air conditioner. I came home feeling a bit dry and a bit raspy. So what it says here, the eternal law of the universe steadily holds the promise of expansion and joy. You know, that's what life is. Life is a continuous expansion. Understanding the laws will reawaken within you the knowledge of your purpose and your own personal power as you remember how to access the power of the universe that creates worlds. I love that. If this time-space reality has within it the ability to inspire a desire within you, it is absolute that this time-space reality has the ability to yield you a full and satisfying manifestation of that same desire. It is law. It makes me smile because when I was leaving Malaysia on Saturday morning, my little grandson, who's turning 5 at the end of this month, woke up early to say goodbye to me, and he said, "Oh, Oma, I'm really going to miss you." And I said, "Well, darling, I'm going to miss you as well." And I said, "Now all that Oma has to do is to ask the universe to give her 3 seats all the way home." And he looked at me and he said, "Oma, what's the universe?" So his father was sitting up the steps a bit and listening, and I'm going, well, I said, "Well, darling, I think the way that I see the universe is like, everything that we know, the trees and the flowers and the birds and the bees and the dogs and the cats and the little children and the omas and the daddies and the mummies, they all come from somewhere, don't they? They have to come from somewhere." And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, I call that somewhere the universe." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, okay." Simple, isn't it? But it's true, isn't it? Isn't it? It's the fuel that, it's where we get everything from. It's that universal field of consciousness. And I call it the universe. But whatever you want to call it, you can go for it. But he understood. He had no trouble at all. Why do we have so much trouble with that? So if you align yourself with that energy and you just go, well, that is what I want. This is my desire. And I just become that. So, you know what? I had 3 beautiful seats, 3 lovely seats to lie down and sit. And I did quite a bit of work on my computer on the way home. And I traveled in luxury and pleasure and ease and grace, because that is what I asked for. That my intended energy was actually sent forward before I got on the plane, and it was just cruise. And so I traveled in grace, which I really loved. So the eternal laws of the universe steadily hold the promise of expansion and joy. Of course, because life itself. And I was listening to someone the other day who was a teacher of mine, who was saying that we are so concerned about life outside of ourselves. But the most important thing that we have to be concerned about is this life. This life. This is your life. This is the only life you have. That outside doesn't exist except right in here. Everything that you think, that you say, that you think, that you feel is happening inside of you. You're looking at me right now and you think that I'm there, but I'm not, because you are interpreting me and seeing me in here. Okay? So when you really understand that, and you really understand that you need to look after this life, the only life there is for you. And we don't remember that, and we forget that, and we abuse it, and we lose it, and we lose the connection to it, and then we wonder why we struggle so much. So if I give you one message this day, remember to look after this life. I don't mean me, because I'm looking after mine. I want you to look after you, your life, because it is the only life that exists. And if you think that life is out there, then you're missing everything. Out there is a reflection of what you are interpreting in here, in this life force. That life force that keeps you breathing, that that looks after you all the time, but you don't look after it enough. So when you think about that and you understand the laws, then it will reawaken within you the knowledge of your purpose. And your only personal purpose is to look after this life, to work with this life, to become expanded into joy. That's not so hard to do. I had wonderful time. I did some wonderful things, very simple things with the children and with my daughter, and she and I always have a very fun time. We, have a lot of giggling times. We have had some tough times in the past, but we have also had the most magnificent times. And it's always such a joy to go and just play with and be a bit silly, because mothers and daughters often tend to be a little bit silly. And to be cared for, that was important for me too, because I needed a bit of a break. And I was beautifully cared for. And so you need to reconnect with your personal power as you remember how to access the power of the universe, which lives in you. The power of the universe isn't out there. There is nothing out there. Absolutely zilch. Everything that you think is happening in your life is happening in here. I know that sounds really weird, but you see, it is because our eyes look out, and the only way we can experience what the eyes see is in here, in thoughts and in feelings and in emotions and things. And it all happens inside. It doesn't happen outside. Okay? Even if somebody smacks you, the pain happens inside, even though the act is outside. So I really want you to think about that this week, and I want you to start paying some attention to the fact that you are part of this universe that creates worlds. It holds all the planets in place. We as humans, we have got ourselves such a delusion of grandeur that we can affect the planets, that we can affect the galaxy, that we can, honestly, if we poofed off the planet today, everything would still go beautifully well. Probably better. Yeah? So, spend more time in here. Tune into the inner universe where it's all happening for you. And whatever you desire will comply. And when you have that co-creative cooperative partnership between the physical vehicle and the energetic life force, and you work together, towards a common aim. And the common aim, look, I don't think there's anyone on this planet that wants anything different to the next person. And that is, we all want to feel good. We all want to feel loved. We want to be acknowledged and recognized. And we want to feel that we've contributed. They're not so difficult. it doesn't mean that you have to become the president of anything. It doesn't mean that you have to be a star. It just means that you have to be the best of yourself within yourself to start with, and then within your family, and then within your community. And if it reaches any further, that's wonderful. But if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What matters is, are you expanded into joy? And whatever that is for you, that is what you pursue. You know, find your joy. Find that buzz that lights up. One of the things that I've been doing in Malaysia was I've been baking with my son-in-law, who suddenly found that he's crazy about cooking, and but he doesn't eat it. So he's just learned to bake sour bread, and we baked a beautiful FODMAP carrot cake, which he's going to now bake for his son's birthday party, and we baked some other things, that treats that that he loves, that I make at Christmas, and they won't be here. So so excuse me, we spent quite a bit of time in the kitchen together and playing, and he's starting to grow herbs, and he's starting to grow cucumbers, which not, you know, all that in the tropics, it's all a little bit more difficult. And just to watch him to really get grounded and into just spending time with his children, which has expanded him into a joy beyond joys. And he's become very domesticated and just loves to spend time around the house and doing these things. And he's just buzzing. And so right now, that is his expansion into joy. And it's such a wonderful thing to experience and to be part of. And so whatever it is for you in this moment, find that spot for you. You know, if this time-space reality has within it the ability to inspire a desire inside you, so within you. So if you have a desire, if a desire is inspired within you, right, it is absolute that this time-space reality has the ability to yield you a full and satisfying manifestation of that same desire. That is the law. It could not, you could not feel it. It could not be birthed in you if it was not in you already. So pay attention. So often we have a desire and we think it's too big, and we think we're not capable of it, and we can't possibly do it. And then we let it lapse, and you know, and then, you know, the idea finds someone else. And, you know, that's one of Elizabeth Gilbert's latest book, or one of her books, Big Magic, which I loved, is very much about that. You know, ideas are out in the ether all the time, and they're looking for a physicality, a physical channel for it to be turned into form. And so it comes and visits you as an idea because it thinks that you've got all the qualities and all the resonance and the right, you know, you've got all your ducks in a row and all your energetic vibrations are aligned. Then it'll come into you, into your awareness. But if you then ignore it, or you have fear and doubt and feel judged, and you know, it'll find someone else. It will find someone else, unless it's absolutely determined that you are the one. And then it'll keep bugging you year after year after year until you finally give in, or the idea has lost its power. So just think about your desires, and think about just how much do you want to acquire it, and just own it and go, you know what, I've got this desire, so it's got to be mine. So then you just align yourself with the universal life force, and you go, well, that's my desire. I don't know how it's going to happen. Show me the way. I'm willing. I'll do whatever it takes. And then see what turns up. And then miraculous things turn up. Miraculous things. You just deliver it. They are. I promise. I know it's true. You've got to do a bit of work, you know, because if you haven't got it already, it means that something that you're stuck in your limitations of your physicality. And that's the thing that we need to get beyond, the limitations of our physicality, because our life force is unlimited. There's no boundaries. So that is why I keep running the programs I run, to help you expand, to go beyond those boundaries, and to know that it isn't you. You are never limited. It's your mind that is limited. So that's all I'm going to have to say today about this beautiful card. And of course, as always, I would like to close with a message from, yes, some Soul Wisdom. I love Soul Wisdom, some Carl Grace cards. The Keepers of the Light. I do love these cards. The more I work with them, the more I'm becoming aligned with them, and the more they're becoming aligned with me. So let's see what they have to offer. So I'd like some Soul Wisdom on this topic that we've just been discussing, please, everybody. Well, you just flip me one because I could have the whole pack totally. Just like one. Oh, there you go. Oh, I think it's trying to run away from me. Let's see. I do love it. This is just such a lovely deck. So, what I've pulled is Melchizedek. I don't know if you know much about Melchizedek, but have a look at that. Look at that face. Very high vibrational energy coming from that card. Okay? And so it says, higher learning. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. Look, every day more inner learning is required. I do inner learning every day. And it's something that I will do for the rest of my life. I know that I will, because for me, it's like breathing. It really is like breathing, to do my inner learning every morning. I need that. I need to expand. I need to give this life force its free rein to take me, the vehicle, along with it. But what I do know is that we intrinsically need each other. My life force has asked to have a physical experience, and for that it has created a physical persona. And it is my duty and my responsibility to be of service to my life force. My life force is not needing to be, let me phrase that really carefully, because I can never say anything that isn't true. So if I'm stammering, it's because I'm getting it messed up. My life force needs the physical channel, to experience the physical life. And that is my responsibility as a person, to make that possible. So my life force responsibility to me is to keep me breathing, to keep my heart beating, to keep all my organs working, and it does that beautifully, right? Most of the time. It stops doing it when we interfere with it, and we stuff things into our bodies, and we get overstressed, and we get, let our emotions take over, and that interferes, but with our whole health. But the life force keeps doing its job for us. So it's time we do our job for our life force, and we become really tuned into that understanding that the most important thing for you to remember is this is life. This is the only life you have. It's the only life you know, and everything out there is a reflection, and you'll see it there, but you actually experience it only here, which is a great thing, because that allows you to do something with it. So spend some time this week thinking about that, and let me know. Send me some feedback. Wow, so I'm back in Melbourne, and tomorrow, well, when you see this, it'll be today. This evening, Spiritual Book Club, and we're doing Braving the Wilderness with Brené Brown. And if you're local and you want to call in, please, 7 o'clock. It is a wonderful evening, and it's going to be a doozy. boy, she is some force to be reckoned with. I love her. Love her work, love her writing. And I love all my clubbers that come and share the evening with me and allow me to expand into joy. So, on that note, I'm going to say good night, but for you it'll be hello and good morning. So, whatever you want. Take care of you. Love your life force. And be kind to you. And be joyful. Live in an expanded state of joy and love. Thank you for being with me once more. And I will see you down the track, either in person, on Skype, in the retreat, at the masterclass, or on YouTube. Good night. I love you. Love yourself more.